The coastline is constantly changing. Anyone who goes to the beach knows this, from changing tides to winds causing waves or still waters, to clouds blocking our sun. The beach is different every single day. But there's one change happening that we don't immediately notice, but is having a huge impact on our coastlines, and that's sea level rise. This isn't some distant problem of remote Pacific islands losing beach area. Sea level rise affects millions of people across the globe, including here in Europe.
The sea levels have been rising because of climate change. When people pour greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, the seas have absorbed more than 90% of the heat from the gases. Average sea levels have increased over 8 inches since 1880, but almost 3 of those inches have risen in the past 25 years.
8,000 miles away, the inhabitants of the tiny Pacific islands of Tuvalu are already facing the realities of an invading sea. As temperatures rise, so do those of the sea, causing oceans to expand. And that, coupled with the glacier melt, means that sea levels will rise even higher.
Fish and birds could lose their habitats from the rising sea levels. Distribution of animals is also affected. In some countries, birds don't need to migrate anymore. Since some birds don't need to migrate in certain areas, that means there will be too much birds in one area. As a result, there won't be enough food for all. Turtles are also affected by climate change. A sea level rise of only 50 centimeters could cause sea turtles to lose their nesting beaches. Over 30% of Caribbean beaches are used by turtles during the nesting season and would be affected. Higher sea levels are linked to more dangerous hurricanes and typhoons that move more slowly and drop more rain, contributing to more powerful storm surges that can ruin everything in its path. One study found that between 1963 and 2012, almost half of all deaths from Atlantic hurricanes were caused by storm surges. This is one reason why I should care about this issue. People are literally dying because the sea levels are rising. Also, flooding in low-lying coastal areas is forcing people to migrate to higher ground. Millions more are vulnerable from flood risk and other climate change effects. The prospect of higher coastal water levels threatens basic services such as internet access. So, you might be wondering how to deal with this issue. As a result of these risks, many coastal cities are already planning adaptation measures to cope with the long-term prospects of higher sea levels. Building seawalls, rethinking roads, and planting mangroves or other vegetation to absorb water are all being undertaken. Also, you could stop using so much fossil fuels or contributing to climate change, because that is one of the main causes for why the sea levels are rising. Rotterdam, home to the Global Center on Adaptation, has offered a model to other cities seeking to combat flooding and land loss. They have built barriers, drainage, and an innovative architectural feature called a water square with temporary ponds. I'm just going to tell you a few more things to make sure that you really understand the seriousness of this. Most predictions say the warming of the planet will continue and will most likely accelerate. Therefore, the oceans are going to keep rising. The most recent special report from the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change says that we can expect the seas to rise between 10 and 30 inches by 2100, with temperatures warming 1.5 degrees Celsius. That is enough to seriously affect many of the cities along the East Coast in the U.S. There is hope here. It's not too late to stop this. This affects everyone.